Hello and welcome to Government with Dr. Turner. Today we're going to identify key factors that influence our individual and collective political opinions. Whether you realize it or not, your political opinions and political culture have been guided and shaped by society since your birth. This process of acquiring political opinions is called political socialization. The current process of political socialization in the United States trains us to support and obey the existing political system. In families, children normally trust what a parent says. Early beliefs and values persist throughout life. Reasons come later. We are taught patriotism, good citizenship skills. The police are good. The president is important. And the flag deserves respect. The biggest influence on our political development is the family. As an agent of political socialization, the American family has its greatest effect on individuals' party identification. Teachers and schools build support for the nation and its cultural beliefs. We learn about the origins of our nation, the founding fathers, national heroes, and American history. We recite the Pledge of Allegiance daily. Religious centers and churches influence our attitudes on obligations to the poor and the unborn. As we grow older and move away from home and family, our ideas begin to diverge. We meet new friends, neighbors, and co-workers. Most people prefer to avoid disagreements, so we begin to hear new ideas and perspectives. We observe the world of politics through the news media. We allow the media to tell us what is important. But each news outlet explains the world of politics from their unique perspective. We are also influenced by the words of political leaders and people in authority. If we support the president, we may take his or her opinion as our own. Political socialization and political culture are also supplemented by our personal identity. Who are we? Who do we think we are? Our identity and self-interest is tied to groups we belong to and affects how we respond to policy issues. For example, we have economic self-interest based on our level of wealth and income. If we belong to the group of Americans with lower incomes, we tend to support welfare assistance and stronger business regulation. This means lower income individuals are more likely to support the Democratic Party if they follow their economic self-interest. People with higher incomes tend to support income tax cuts, leading them toward the Republican Party. Self-interest is a source of divisions in society. You might remember that the writers of the Constitution identified differences between the rich and poor as the greatest source of political conflict for the United States. Our religious identity also affects our opinions on political issues. Religious beliefs affect opinions on abortion, poverty programs, and social issues. Today, differences exist between churchgoers who are conservative and seculars who are more liberal. Geographic regional divisions are less important than before, but some traditional Republican and Democratic strongholds remain. The South tends to be more conservative. The urban areas are more liberal. Our race and ethnicity is part of our identity and affects our political opinions. Blacks and Hispanics support affirmative action, but are less trusting of police and the judicial system. Blacks are more liberal on economic policy and race, but not on social issues like abortion or prayer in schools. The term gender gap refers to differences in political opinions between men and women. Today's society also has an emerging marriage gap. Never marrieds tend to be more liberal. Our stage of life affects our identity and political views. Political views of one generation will differ from previous generations. Different ages respond differently to age-related policies. Concerning the relationship between age and opinions, groups of citizens of the same age can be shaped by the same political events. For example, older generations were affected by the Depression and World War II. A recent generation was affected by the events of 9/11 and the War on Terror. The current generation is being molded by the pandemic and political strife. Party identification refers to an emotional attachment to a political party. People's political party preferences are primarily acquired through the influence of their families. Party identification affects how we see. We all experience selective perception. We select incoming information based on what we already believe. Concerning the roles of ideology and partisanship in shaping public opinion, party labels provide mental cues that we use in interpreting and responding to news. Let's review. The current process of political socialization in the United States trains us to support and obey the existing political system. The biggest influence on our political development is the family. Self-interest is the source of divisions in society. Concerning the roles of ideology and partisanship in shaping public opinion, party labels provide mental cues that we use in interpreting and responding to news. Concerning the relationship between age and opinions, groups of citizens of the same age can be shaped by the same political events.